All right, I got to do this fast. Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Dylan Knows. This is Dylan Knows episode 596. Moves like Verbal Kent. Verbal Kent is a guy from Usual Suspects who walked with his foot all hyped. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I got a lot going on today. It's March 2nd, 11:45 a.m. On Academy Awards Day. I did my Academy Award picks last night, and I'm doing my show today. I hope to rattle this through for an hour and a half because I've got a ton of shit I got to do today. It's my wife's birthday, and it's the eve of my wife's birthday. Her birthday is tomorrow, March 3rd. My daughter wants to go out and get her some stuff. My wife wants to go out and do the Pokemon Unova stuff. I have to do this show. I got to get dinner prepped. I got to buy groceries. And then I want to watch the Oscars. So I only have about a 7-hour window to do all that shit. So I'm going to try to run through here real quickly. The episode Dylan Knows, episode 596, is Moves Like Verbal. The reason why I said that is because my right foot has been a problem for a good long while now, and the last few months or so it's gotten really worse. It's from bad shoes and standing all day on hard concrete at work has caused my foot to be in pain practically all the time when I walk. If I sit down, relax, and I have it like up on my leg, or I'm just not using it and I step back down, it starts to hurt really badly interior. Sometimes it feels like I'm walking on rocks inside my foot. It also feels like I'm walking on something like this all the time. So I have to sort of limp a little bit when I'm walking because of the pain that my foot is going through. And if you've ever seen The Usual Suspects, you know Verbal Kent's character, played by Kevin Spacey, had that weird little shuffle walk he has where his foot is kind of crooked or whatever. So that's why I decided to name the episode Moves Like Verbal. Plus, I usually wouldn't have my beard here on a Sunday, but because I am such a rush, I have to do all this shit in 7 hours. I decided not to shave today. I'll shave for my wife's birthday tomorrow. So got a lot going on. We've got a big episode today. So I want to get right to it right now. First, real quick, I usually do these after I do the stories, but I figured that because this week had a lot of death, particularly a couple big ones, I figured I would hit that now. The biggest one of all is Gene Hackman passed away. He hadn't acted since like 2006, since my daughter was born, in a film. And he was in his 90s. But the way he died is suspicious because he was found dead, unresponsive. His wife was also found dead, and their dog was also found dead. The first inkling was that it could have been carbon monoxide poisoning because there is no signs of a struggle, no signs of injuries on the body, no gunshots, no knife wounds, no beatings. So that sort of phases out an assault by somebody. Because there was no sign of any blunt force trauma, any wounds, so no suicide, no murder-suicide pacts, nothing like that. But then they started discovering some other weird stuff. They found no traces of carbon monoxide in the bodies, and they looked closer. Their door was cracked open, and Gene Hackman's heart medicine was scattered all around his body. So don't know if it was an accidental overdose, but how did his wife and dog die as well? Did somebody come in and force the pills down the throats of the dogs and his wife and himself? Did he do it? Did she? I don't know. So answers are still forthcoming, but it's still really sad. Gene Hackman was a legend. Been in was a character. I think the best description was a character actor who can become a leading man if need be. And he usually played the heavy in a lot of movies, but he played some good guys here and there. But he has a huge filmography. He also wrote some stuff, and let's see if I can find his Here we go. His filmography. Starting all the way back, 1961 was his first role. He was in Bonnie and Clyde. I'm just going to hit the main ones. He was in, and I'll mention it also. In the movie PCU, there was a off joke about how anybody can major in anything if they bullshit it correctly. And one of the main characters, their major was the Hackman-Cain theory, which is that at any time in the world, at any hour, there'll be either a Gene Hackman movie or a Michael Caine movie playing. And so he was trying to prove it. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, so The French Connection, The Poseidon Adventure, Scarecrow, The Conversation, Young Frankenstein, French Connection 2, A Bridge Too Far, Superman 2. He played Lex Luthor. He was known as one of the best Lex Luthors. Was in Reds, Two of a Kind, Uncommon Valor, Hoosiers. Obviously, I think he won the Oscar for his role in Hoosiers. No Way Out. Mississippi Burning, The Package, Loose Cannons, Postcards from the Edge, Class Action, Company Business, Unforgiven, The Firm, Geronimo, An American Legend, Wyatt Earp, one of my favorites, The Quick and the Dead, it's fantastic, Crimson Tide, Get Shorty. I mean, listen to that one. He did in 94, Wyatt Earp, The Quick and the Dead, Crimson Tide, and Get Shorty in 95, then hit The Birdcage in 96. Extreme Measures, The Chamber, Absolute Power, Ants, Enemy of the State, Under Suspicion, The Replacements, one of my favorite movies also, Heartbreakers, The Royal Tenenbaums, Runaway Jury, and his last movie he made was Welcome to Mooseport in 2004, and then he retired from acting. Television, he did some stuff, but nothing really major. So he did a lot of that. So there you go. So you know who Gene Hackman is. You've probably seen him in one of those movies, particularly probably Lex Luthor's probably his most famous role, probably. But he has has done a lot of big things, and rest in peace to him. Even Saturday News, there always seems to be a actor, actress taken too young. In this case, this week also, actress Michelle Trachtenberg died. She played Dawn, Buffy's sister. She was in Harriet the Spy. She was in Euro Trip. She did, I think there was a popular TV show she did. I can't think of it right now. But she was like 39 years old, so she was really, really young. So she passed away this week as well. Roberta Flack, musician, Killing Me Softly with his song, the original version. You probably heard that. She's also done a whole bunch of other ones as well. She passed away this week. And David Johansen, he was a member of the New York Dolls, but he also was in a bunch of movies. He wasn't Scrooge. He played the Ghost of Christmas Past in Scrooge. He also did the song Hot, Hot, Hot. So he passed away this week too. And there's a bunch of other ones that came up, but those were the big ones I wrote down first and foremost. College baseball is underway right now. And this week, two teams scored 35 runs about a week apart. About this time last week, the University of Maryland, one of my favorite colleges, local college, their baseball team scored 35 runs in a 35-12 rout of Notre Dame or something like that, or Penn State or something like that. And then yesterday, the University of Oregon, their baseball team also dropped 35 runs on a team also. So it's kind of odd that two college teams within a week of each other dropped 35 runs on their opponents in one game. So that's kind of interesting. Blue Ghost, a private firm, landed a moon lander on the moon, took some really breathtaking pictures of the moon and of the Earth from the moon, and some really cool stuff too. So that's kind of neat to see that a independent company was able to do what they did. My favorite band, REM, has not been together since almost as long as Gene Hackman was retired. I think they called it quits in like 2000. No, it would have been when I was doing my show. So it had to have been 2010-ish, maybe something like that, somewhere in the 2000 teens. They reunited for one song at an event. All four of the original members reunite for one song, Pretty Persuasion, which is a great song from their early albums. Actor Michael Shannon, of all people, actually fronts a REM tribute band, and I think that was part of a concert he was doing in Athens, Georgia, and the members of REM came on stage and performed with him Pretty Persuasion, but it was all four of the main members of REM. And also like, oh, they're going to get back together. No, they're not getting back together, which is a one-off. They do this periodically. They did it when they were put into the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They did it to honor other people. So they will occasionally reteam, but they're not going to come back out for the new album. I think they've all decided to move on. Plus, they're getting older. Remember, they started in 1983, 82-ish, 83. So maybe even before then. So I think 82, 83 is when the first albums came out. But they've been around for a really, really long time, almost 40-plus years. So they're probably up there with all these other bands who are starting to say we're not going to tour anymore. So they might still periodically come out and do one-offs here and there. But you're not going to get a regular tour album or anything like that because they are getting old and they have other stuff they want to do. So good on that. On Tuesday, Daredevil Born Again Season 1 pops up on Disney Plus. And basically what everybody's been saying is that originally it wasn't going to be this way once Disney Plus got the rights to the Netflix series. And a lot of people started bitching about it. And then when they started looking at things and how things were going, they didn't like the direction it was going in. So they scrapped what they were going to do and rehired new writers and showrunners and decided to connect it to the Netflix series. So Born Again is basically kind of a light reboot of the Netflix series. So you got the same actors playing their roles, and they are going to acknowledge the previous Netflix series as well. So because there is a Easter egg that people showed from the trailer that showed Luke Cage's Blues Club is still around. As of now that we know of, unless there's a big surprise, none of the Defenders will be popping up in the series for this season. Punisher makes an appearance. John Barenthal's Punisher makes an appearance. But other than that, it's just sticking basically with Daredevil's main cast. However, because Disney Plus is already anticipating it to be a huge event for them, they've already renewed it for a second season, and they've actually already started filming season 2 this past Thursday or Friday. They started filming season 2, and Matthew Lillard, one of our best actors recently, has been cast in an unknown role right now in season 2 of Daredevil Born Again. So that's pretty cool. And rumors are abounding that Krysten Ritter, who played, Jesus Christ. What was her role? I hate my stupid old addled brain. Jessica Jones. That's right. Jessica Jones is rumored to be had flown into New York City right around the same time that they have started filming Daredevil season 2. So there's rumors that she's going to appear, maybe not in a main role, but in some form or another is going to pop up in season 2. And very well, Mike Coulter's show that he did has finished up also. So he is now free. That was one of the reasons why he wasn't going to come back when they were talking to Daredevil reboot. Or that he was going to do Luke Cage again because he had this other show, but they canceled it. So now he probably has work, but he might be interested in reprising his role. He's always said he liked the role, so he could pop up in this one as well. Don't know about Danny Rand or any of the other ones, but the fact that Krysten Ritter showed up in New York City around the same time as they're starting filming Daredevil has people thinking it could be coincidental, since Krysten Ritter has also been cast in the Dexter Resurrection show that is presently filming right now. So she might just be doing a very quick cameo and then has to go down, because they'll be filming in Florida there, and then has to go down to Florida to film her role there. Or she is not needed just yet on Dexter, and she might be able to do a couple of scenes for upcoming episodes, and then she'll go down to Florida to play, Dexter Resurrection. So who knows? At this point, we won't know till Daredevil season 2 comes out, which probably won't be till 2027 if you want to be fair about it, but we'll see, because they have to film it now. It could surprise us and come in 2026, but it's probably going to take 3 to 4 months to film, and then maybe 2026 would probably be a better option. You might be able to see it then too. So we'll find out. So we'll see how that works itself out. The Russo brothers dropped some preliminary drawing, stuff like that, for the upcoming Avengers Doomsday, which starts filming in June. And one of the pictures has Vision sitting next to Quill on a sofa, and another picture has what appears to be Dupe, a character from Ecstatics, a mutant X-Men comic, also appearing as well. So think of it as their version of like a Slimer, but is much more interesting than Slimer is. So we'll see if that actually is true, or these are just random drawings that they were thinking about, stuff like that. We also got a lot of shots of what Latveria could look like, and that a lot of the film might be taking place in Latveria, and with focusing more on Doctor Doom and not the heroes quite as much. So we'll see how that all works out. Again, we have a ways to go. We will not get that until May of 2026. So we still got a year and a half to go. They haven't even started filming it yet. So, again, people just like to take a look at stuff and make their own determinations. So we'll see what happens with that. In an idea that's not too bad, actually, The Burbs, which was a Joe Dante film that had Tom Hanks in it and Carrie Fisher, and was not a huge hit, but has become a cult classic film from the 1980s. It was during that time when Tom Hanks really wasn't hitting all cylinders. He didn't hit that till the early 90s. But this film has a big a fan club for it, and lots of people love it. So they've decided they're going to make a TV show reboot of The Burbs, which is basically about and it's a neat idea too. I mean, it's like a small little town, a neighborhood that ends in a cul-de-sac, and all the neighbors know each other and they're all friends. But then a new neighbor comes in to move into one of the houses, and they're acting really, really bizarre and weird, almost like they hear screams, and middle of the night someone's digging graves and stuff. It looks like someone like digging something like graves. So their paranoia sort of builds up. So the squad of neighborhood watch people, who are morons for the most part, try to see what's going on by breaking and entering into their neighbor's house and trying to solve the case. It was a really funny comedy, a decent film. Joe Dante is a great director, and just a dark humored enough that it was good, and a pretty decent cast as well. They're doing a television remake of it. I think it's pretty brilliant, actually. Keke Palmer, Jack Whitehill, Paula Pell, Julia Duffy, Mark Proch, Caprio Talhandra are the stars, and Haley Joel Osment, Danielle Kennedy, R.J. Kyler, Justin Kirk, Keenan McAlpin, and Randy Ogilvy are joining it as guest stars as well. So they've got some good guest stars, and they got an interesting cast, and it's going to be a TV series. And it sounds interesting, actually, to be honest. I like to see how they're going to do it and how they can extend it a little bit and maybe change it up a little bit from the TV show. But I think they'll stick to the comedy format of it. Maybe kind of like a comedy Twin Peaks sort of thing, which could be interesting. So we'll see what happens. Skype I didn't know if this was still around, but apparently Skype is still around, but it will be replaced in May for Microsoft Teams. So Skype will be disappearing here soon. The felon in charge did a bunch of stupid stuff as usual this week. This one, he says he plans to pardon Pete Rose and demands that the major leagues put him into the Hall of Fame. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think you can just pardon anybody you just feel like. I think it has to be connected to the federal government in some form or another, or a federal crime or something like that. His gambling was a local crime, and Major League Baseball has upheld his suspension of that even after his death. And yet people would like to see him back in, but they still have to stand firm and show that they aren't soft on stuff like that. So the moron just keeps thinking he can do whatever he wants. So fuck him and fuck the whole Republican Party. They're a bunch of fucking moron shitheads. Pokemon Concierge is set to return in September. The stop motion animated show on Netflix has garnered good reviews and a loyal fan base. So that's pretty good. Sharon Hogarth has inked a deal with exclusive deal with HBO for her new show. I don't know much about her, but she is apparently a BAFTA winner and stuff like that. Is a huge British comedian who has inked a new exclusive deal with HBO for her new show. Tonight, as I told you, is the Oscars, and unfortunately, we will be missing one of our filmmaking legends who was supposed to be presenting an award today. Harrison Ford will not be able to attend the Oscars tonight due to the fact that this is horrible for someone his age. He has shingles. So he will not be able to attend the Academy Awards. So they'll probably have to dig to get someone else. Shouldn't be too hard to find somebody to replace him, but still. He has presented an award almost every year, so it's a shame that he won't be able to do it. But we hope that he's feeling better. Obviously, the NFL new season of the NFL does not start till March 12th, but that does not stop teams from doing early discussions with other teams for trading draft picks or trading for free agents. It's always been funny because I remember years ago, 10, 15, 20 years ago, it was considered a crime. Not really a crime, I guess, but that you could not negotiate with players before the official season started. But somewhere along the line, they decided to go lax on that. So that's why when, the new season starts and free agency starts like that, the first day it's like bam, 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 bam. Just every, all these free agents just start popping up. They're going here, because they've been working on this for weeks. And now that they can officially sign on, they can sign on and say, this is now official. So it is one of the wildest things that you see all the discussion say, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. And then when the new season starts, it's like, bam, 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 one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. In this case, the surprising Washington Commanders, my second favorite team, and has been since the 1990s. So don't say you're a bandwagon jumper. I've been a fan of Washington through all its iterations since the early 90s, even maybe before into the late 80s after the Colts left. My grandparents lived outside of D.C. We'd visit them on a lot of Sundays, and they'd have the Redskins game on, and I would watch that, and I became a fan. Particularly, it was a good time to be a Redskins fan because they were winning Super Bowls and going to playoffs, and one of the best teams in the league during that time. And then as we got the Ravens back in 96, I still followed Washington's team because they're not in the same division, so they play each other once every 4 years. So it's not like a big deal. And then I met and married my wife and her family, and they're all strident Washington fans as well. So I have that's that. But the Washington Commanders, the surprising Washington Commanders, in their second year of working with their new ownership and their new GM and stuff like that after their amazing first year where they made it to the NFC Championship game, 1 game away from the Super Bowl, where they got blown out by the Eagles. They are the first to strike. The Washington Commanders have agreed in terms, again, cannot be signed until March 12th, with San Francisco 49ers star wide receiver Deebo Samuel to come to Washington to be their second wide receiver. Terry McLaurin is still going to be their number 1, but to have McLaurin and Deebo Samuel next to each other is an absolute scary idea because you don't know who you're supposed to double. You double McLaurin, Deebo Samuel's going to kick your ass. You double Deebo, Terry McLaurin's going to kick your ass. So you're going to have to figure out a way to now, as long as they stay healthy, to handle these two awesome wide receivers, and it's a great wide receiver room. All they had to trade was a 5th round pick, which is outstanding for Washington. So as I said, Deebo Samuel will be a Commander, but will not be officially allowed to sign his contract until March 12th. But good enough for striking first. You'll probably start seeing, since they're the first one to announce it, you'll probably start seeing more of these during the next few weeks until March 12th, when, as I said, everything is going to come out. Real quick, this week also, not only is it my wife's birthday on Monday, it is Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras on Tuesday. It is Ash Wednesday on Wednesday, which means Lent starts on Wednesday, which means no meat for Catholics on Fridays. Starting this week and going until Good Friday on April 17th. So, yippee. But we are now officially entering the Lenten season. So we'll see what happens there. Lauren McQueen has been cast in what the hell? Oh, Lauren McQueen has been cast as Maid Marian in the Sean Bean Robin Hood series. Okay, give me a second to figure that out. I think Sean Bean is playing Sheriff of Nottingham and not Robin Hood. But that is moving right along now. Chinook salmon have returned to California's North Yuba River. First time in a century that has come back. The North Yuba River had been having all kinds of issues. California's gone out of its way to clean it up, make sure that it's back to the way it's supposed to be, and it worked. The Chinook salmon are back in California's North Yuba River. Al Pacino has joined the cast of Devilman's Wire with Bill Skarsgård, Dacre Montgomery, Mahalia, Carrie Elways, and Coleman Domingo. Gus Van Sant's new film. So pretty decent cast, and it's Gus Van Sant, so pretty good. Ocean Spray is set to release a strawberry shortcake juice, only available, I believe, at Walmart, which is interesting because Ocean Spray is more known for their cranberry-style juices. Cinnamon Toast Crunch Hershey's Kisses are now out in stores. You can go ahead and pick them up, as are the Butterbeer Goldfish Crackers as well. So you can pick those up as well. Crazy Rich Asians, a hugely popular movie, is now being turned into a series with John M. Chu as one of the executive producers, and they will be adapting other books in the series of Crazy Rich Asians. About that. Tatiana Maslany is keeping herself busy. She's set to star in Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed, an Apple TV Plus show about a soccer mom who spirals into blackmail, seduction, murder in a quiet town. Should be an interesting show. Apple TV Plus tends to have some pretty good stuff going on. Zendaya has joined the cast of Shrek 5 as the voice of Shrek's daughter. We got our first teaser trailer of it. Not much going on, just a quick look at the characters and the cast. That Cameron Diaz, who has taken a sabbatical from acting, came out and did a movie with Jamie Foxx, will be returning as the voice of Fiona in this one. But the big news is that fans are screaming about the animation of the trailer, and they think that it is subpar to what they used to. And honestly, I didn't really notice any difference. Things looked a little lighter and maybe not as defined, but you could always make the case that it's been years since the last Shrek movie. So you could technically make the case that they're aging since we have, when the last Shrek movie, TV series, whatever came out, Shrek's and Fiona's babies were just little. Now we have Zendaya as a teenager. So obviously at least 15 to 20 years has passed. So wouldn't that show up on the faces of the characters as well? So I don't see the big deal about it. I don't see how bad the animation is. It looked fine to me. Plus, it's a teaser trailer. It might not even be a scene from the movie. So relax, man. You'll find out more Christmas next year. So we'll find out. Wonder Man is confirmed for 8 episodes, which is the next Marvel TV show that's supposedly set to premiere in December. Ed Harris has also been cast in the role as Wonder Man's agent, and I think that's awesome casting for Ed Harris. So congratulations to them. And Wonder Man for 8 episodes is a good. I did take a look at that. Jamie Lee Curtis is signed on as executive producer for a new sci-fi thriller. Not acting in it, just as a executive producer. So that's pretty cool. The Guilty, a new movie from Netflix, due out October 1st. First trailer for that came out. Stars Jake Gyllenhaal as a 911 person on 911 dispatcher who gets involved in a case. So it's going to be probably one of the movies that Netflix will be pushing in the summer and ahead of its fall premiere. Naveen Andrews from Lost. You haven't heard much from him. He is set to voice Khan in a Star Trek audio podcast series focusing on the history of Khan. Mattel has won the rights to do more DC Comics action figures. So they had the rights before, but then lost it, but now they have it again. So congrats to them. The Assessment trailer, Elizabeth Olsen, Himesh Patel, and Alicia Vikander popped up. Looks interesting, but didn't really give me much, really. A movie theater ceiling collapsed during a showing of Captain America Brave New World. I don't think anybody was killed. Maybe some people were hurt, but luckily nobody was killed there. Oscar Nunez is set to reprise his role from the original Office TV show on the new Office TV show. Don't know if it's going to be as a regular role or as a guest starring role, but he is set to debut on the new show. The final Minecraft trailer popped up, and it's gotten hate from my kids upstairs, who are the ones who are more in with it. It looks fine to me. I think it's going to make a shit ton of money, even though a lot of people don't seem to like it that much, but I think it's still going to make a shit ton of money because it is a Minecraft movie with some good casting in it. So we'll see about that. Pop-Tarts ice cream will be coming in June. It's going to come in 3 flavors: frosted strawberry, frosted brown sugar, cinnamon, and the s'mores flavor. Those actually sound pretty decent. I'd like to maybe try, maybe not all of them, but maybe all of them might not be bad. See if they have that Pop-Tart taste, or they're just going to be generic flavored ice cream. So we'll see, but we'll find out in June. So that'll be kind of cool there. Neegly, the Reacher spinoff, has started filming, so we'll be getting that sooner than later. The Alien Earth trailer from South by Southwest dropped. Again, nothing really major. Just a new look at it. We'll probably get a more fully ensconced look at it down the line here. So here we go. So where are we at? I got about an hour to go. Citigroup mistakenly credited a customer $81 trillion, not billion, not million, $1 trillion, instead of the $280 they were supposed to get. Took him at least 2 days to fix the problem. But man, just think if you were that person and you checked your balance and $81 trillion, that's more money than the United States has, and more money than that a-hole fuckface Nazi shitbag Elon Musk has. I would have taken that fucking money and bought America back, and said, sorry, Citicorp, but fuck these Nazi fascist fucks in the White House. I'm going to take that money and I'm going to kick their ass with it. But it's been fixed, so alas, unfortunately not. And plus, you start getting into stuff as how, no matter how much you want to, you really shouldn't have taken it because it was a mistake. Award season is coming to an end. We had a couple of award seasons, so I'm going to run through these real quick because, as I said, I got to really get moving here because I don't have a lot of time. The anti Oscars were the Razzies. So we got those awarded. All right, where are they? Okay, worst picture was Madam Web. Worst actor was Jerry Seinfeld in Unfrosted. Worst actress was Dakota Johnson in Madam Web. Worst supporting actor was Jon Voight in Megalopolis, Reagan, Shadowland, and Strangers. Worst supporting actress was Amy Schumer in Unfrosted. Worst director was Francis Ford Coppola for Megalopolis. Worst screen combo was Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga for Joker Folie à Deux. Worst prequel, remake, ripoff, or sequel, Joker Folie à Deux was the winner. Worst screenplay was Madam Web. And that's it. So, good on that, Razzies. And then we had the SAG Awards. That's the Screen Actors Guild Awards. Conclave won Best Cast in Motion Picture. The Fall Guy won Best Stunt Ensemble in a Motion Picture. Shogun won Best Ensemble in a Drama Series. Jane Fonda won the Life Achievement Award. Demi Moore won Female Actor in a Leading Role. Zoe Saldana won Female Actor in a Supporting Role. Hiroyuki Sanada won Best Male Actor in a Drama Series. Timothy Chalamet won Best Male Actor in a Leading Role. Kieran Culkin won Best Male Actor in a Supporting Role. Only Murders in the Building won the Ensemble in a Comedy Series. Shogun won Stunt Ensemble in a TV series. Anna Sawai won Best Female Actor in a Drama Series. Martin Short won Male Actor for a Comedy Series. Jean Smart won for Female Actor in a Comedy Series. Jessica Gunning won for Female Actor in a Miniseries or Television Series. And Colin Farrell won for Best Male Actor in a Miniseries or TV movie. So good on those winners. Nothing really surprising. But there we are. All right. So we have that. I think I got one more award thing to do, but I'll do that at the end of the show. Let's see. Anniversary, Donnie Brasco debuted 28 years ago this week. Other deaths this week, we have Angie Starr, a Grammy-nominated R&B singer, died in a car crash at the age of 63. Wish I Didn't Miss You was her big song. Boris Spassky, the 10th world champion, chess champion, oldest world grandmaster in chess, and also fought Bobby Fischer and beat him in 1972, passed away this week. Osamu Miyawaki is the died. She was the Kyoto Anime Figure Company owner, I guess. She died 96 years old. That Nazi Elon Musk, he backed an attack ad on a Wisconsin Supreme Court nominee for the Supreme Court, and it was the wrong person that the attack ad was about. The Beekeeper 2 is coming. As expected, it was a surprise hit, and it will be coming back. We'll see how that rolls through there a little bit. read that one. Mountain Dew's Mango Rush is going to be a 2025 only available at Little Caesars starting in April and May. Jamie Campbell Brown and Eddie Morrison are joining the cast of Lord of the Rings: Ring of Power Season 3. The TVA comic that Marvel puts out in their latest issue finds that Wanda from the MCU movie world actually survived the end of Doctor Strange 2, is currently being held prisoner at the TVA, and that comic is canon. So we know now how Wanda's going to come back to the MCU and connect it to the TVA, which is kind of interesting. A Working Man trailer. Jason Statham's new action flick released his first trailer. All right, did that one. New Death of a Unicorn trailer. A24's bizarre looking but fun looking movie with Jenna Ortega and Ant-Man. Oh my God, this is killing me. Paul Rudd, yes. Whew. Man, I'm getting old. Debuted. It's definitely an intriguing film. It's due out the end of this month, March 28th. We got our first look at Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre in the new Lanterns TV series. Kraven the Hunter is set to debut on Netflix on March 13th, and D&D Honor Among Thieves is now presently on Netflix. Karen Gillan is set to return to TV in a new show called Douglas is Canceled for BritBox, which is being showrun by her former Doctor Who showrunner. We got our first look at Anya Taylor-Joy in her new TV series Lucky for Apple TV+. We also got our first look at Verity with Anne Hathaway, Josh Hartnett, and Dakota Johnson. And we also found out that Ismael Cruz Cordova, Brady Wagner, Ariana DeVarco Ventro, Kiki Morgan, and Michael Abbott Jr. have been joining the cast of Verity as well. It's a thriller, and it looks interesting. Anne looks fantastic in the pictures I've seen. March 30th is the release of the Guy Ritchie Mobland show with Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, and Helen Mirren. We get our first look at the Surfer trailer with Nicolas Cage, which is another sort of bizarre film where Nicolas Cage is a former surfer who grew up surfing these Australian waves and wanted to buy the house that he grew up in, but he discovers with his son that the surfing area is now taken over by what has to be described as like the Australian mafia, who don't want him there. So he has to, so they try to scare him off the land, and he's got to fight back to protect himself. Whatever. The NFL is set to get rid of the first down chains and instead do an electronic measuring device, which makes a lot more sense considering that it could have changed a lot of fortunes this year in the NFL. Something's bound to happen eventually. There it is. We're on March 2nd, 2025. It is not too early to start talking Christmas. Disney Plus has announced that the Jonas Brothers are going to be releasing a Christmas special just in time for Christmas in 2025. So let's just fast forward through this year and get there and get back to Christmas. Jared Padalecki and Misha Collins are going to be joining the cast of the Boys for their final season. A little mini Supernatural reunion because the other guy from Supernatural has a main role in The Boys, so we'll see how that goes. The Last Take, Rust, and the Story of Halen trailer. Don't know much about that, but I decided to release that. A Hell of a Summer, the Finn Wolfhard co-directed horror comedy, has been moved up to release in theaters on April 4th now instead of April 18th. Another Simple Favor, the sequel to the Blake Lively Anna Kendrick film, gets its first trailer. Tom Hardy's new film Havoc also gets its first trailer. The second season of Percy Jackson is finished production weeks ago. It has not been renewed for a third season yet, though it is expected to, because the first season became Disney Plus's most successful TV debut ever, and the second season is set to debut later this year and is set to probably continue the trend, so it's only a matter of time before season 3 gets greenlit. However, Rick Riordan's smart enough to know that if it is greenlit, they want to get started on it right away because the children are getting older, and they need to keep the illusion that they're only aging a year for the show. So he's gone to start talking to the writer's room about starting to write episodes for season 3 based on the third book in his series. So we'll see how that actually goes. That's interesting because that's a Christmas-based season, which will be really, really cool to see when they do that, which means that hopefully maybe by December of this year, they'll start working on it around Christmas time so they get the Christmas feel for it, and it'll be released next year in 2026. I think that's the plan right now. So Percy Jackson season 2 should come out sooner than later, though, so they can make sure that they get that done. A MAGA fucktard wrote on responded to a comment about the fact that we have our first child who died from measles in Texas. Measles was eradicated the early part of the century due to vaccines, which, according to fucking moronic, uneducated shitbag Republican GOP fuckface MAGAs, that vaccines are bad. They're bad. So a MAGA fucktard on one of the comments about this said, "Don't worry, RFK Jr. is going to find a cure for measles. I guarantee it." You stupid fuck. Learn something, read, get educated. There is already a fucking cure for measles, you dumb fuck. We eradicated that shit, but because you and your stupid ass non-vaxxer fuckbag shithead uneducated morons don't realize that saves lives, you stupid fucks. You should all be thrown in fucking jail and killed, you pieces of shit. It's already there. Take the fucking vaccine so nobody else fucking dies. God, you're fucking stupid. German soccer matches gets called off after a referee gets his nuts bitten by a child. I don't know how the fuck a child gets onto a soccer pitch or a football pitch, but somehow he ran up and bit the balls of a official referee. It's fucked up, man. Desfumi Kitahan, a top animation publicist, died at the age of 56. Anniversary, El Mariachi, which started Robert Rodriguez's career, is 32 years old this week, as is Falling Down. Falling Down is 32 years ago this week. The great Michael Douglas, Joel Schumacher film. And Henry Kelly, a founder of Classic FM Radio, died at the age of 78 this week. Ayo Edebue from The Bear is set to write and star in a live-action Barney movie set to be produced by Daniel Kaluuya. That's been gestating for a while, so that's a interesting idea. 1,000 musicians released a silent album in protest to the UK's new AI copyright laws. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, The Time Tunnel, and Land of Giants, all these old 1970s sort of schlocky kids show, sci-fi, Sid Croft sort of things, are set to get reimagined by Akiva Goldsmith and Legendary. Legendary is the group that's been doing the reboots and the reimaginings of the Godzilla movies for American audiences. And Akiva Goldsmith was the one that did a reimagining of Lost in Space, not the TV show that was brilliant, but the movie that was okay with William Hurt and and the like there, Gary Oldman, so on and so forth as well. And he also wrote the atrocious Batman movies with George Clooney, and the could have been a whole lot better, but still kind of shitty Batman Forever with Val Kilmer. So he's going to reimagine those. Why not? Nobody really knows much about them. They're interesting ideas, but and I guess like there's no real original ideas left. So reimaginings are always a good way to go. Walking Dead, Dead City Season 2 is set to debut May 4th. So you'll be getting that sooner than later. Patrick Wilson is set to join the Cape Fear TV show reboot with Javier Bardem and Amy Adams. John Barenthal is set to get his own Punisher special one-off on Disney Plus, and if that's successful, they'll probably spin off into a TV series potentially on Disney Plus. A blind sand mole who has been extinct for 87 years has been rediscovered, so he's coming back, so that's good. Our first look at the fantastic Poker Face Season 2 popped up online with some new pics. John Lithgow has confirmed that he is Dumbledore in the new Harry Potter series, so that is a true story. Starfire animated series is set to debut from James Gunn and his DC animated group. Shark steals a camera from some divers, and they were able to retrieve their camera, but the shark took some pictures from his jaws out to the divers who are watching him, and they're really neat looking. Moana 2 is set to debut on Disney Plus on March 12th. First look at Owen Wilson's golf comedy on Apple TV, along with Murderbot, which I talked about last week, was released again this week. Apollo Whiskeys are set to celebrate the Apollo missions with a new label covering all the Apollo missions, and it'll be part of a whiskey. Don't know if they're different whiskeys or all just the same whiskey, but just with different stickers on them. Reese's Peanut Butter Pie miniature candies. You know how they've been doing those stuffed Reese's Peanut Butter Cups recently. The newest one is going to be this peanut butter pie thing that is not released in big cups yet, but will be in miniature form, but maybe in big cups eventually. Is Hooters going to be going bankrupt? Will they be joining one of the myriad of new businesses that are going bankrupt? All signs are pointing to yes on that. And honestly, the only real attraction to that was the big-breasted waitresses, to be honest. The food was mediocre at best. It was like any other sports bar out there. And it's not really the era now to have that sort of thing. So we'll see what happens. This is really nice. For those who don't know, Tony Hawk, one of the greatest skateboarding person of all time, one of the most famous ones also. His son married Kurt Cobain's daughter, and they have had a child. Tony Hawk went on to Instagram or something like that with a picture of him holding his grandchild, saying that he really wishes that Kurt could be here to see that his daughter, Frances Bean, is doing very, very well, that she has married a very good man in his son, Tony Hawk's son, and he would love to have seen pictures or have seen in person Kurt Cobain holding his grandchild. I'm tearing up thinking about that. It was such a really beautiful sentiment from Tony Hawk, and we kind of wish it was happening to Tony. Trust us. There's also going to be a Green Lantern animated show set during the My New Adventures with Superman show, that sort of all-ages show that's been popping up. There's going to be a Green Lantern-esque spinoff that's going to be set in the same world as that series. Crypto, who's the star of the new Superman trailers that everybody loves to see them, James Gunn has announced that he will be doing seasonal shorts with Crypto, which after his fantastic seasonal Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, I would love to see James Gunn do a crypto seasonal special and just would absolutely adore it, I think. So I'm looking forward to that immensely. Take this with a grain of salt. And again, it's more people who are just trying to make breaking news and try to get ahead of the system. There's been no official announcement. Again, let me reiterate, no official announcement, but Stranger Things season 5, we know, is due to come out this year. We just do not know when. Everybody wants it to come sooner than later because they want to see how the story ends. It is the final season, and they've heard nothing but great things about it. The first rumor had that the whole season was going to drop on Thanksgiving, November 27th. Or is that the day before Thanksgiving? Let's just verify that. No, it would be Thanksgiving Day. That was the first rumor. Newest rumor now, which honestly has some merit to it, but again, just a rumor. Netflix has not announced it officially. This is more, I think, maybe wishful thinking or anticipation about what it's for. They're taking the original theory that's going to be released on Thanksgiving and are mixing it up a little bit. They are saying that Stranger Things season 5 will be released in 2 parts, much how season 4 was, with the first part releasing on October 10th of this year and the second part releasing on Thanksgiving, November 27th. Take that with a grain of salt. Honestly, that sounds like a great idea, though. Maybe move it down another week or so to like October 17th or even the 24th, right before Halloween. And then you only have about a month window between the first part and the second part, so people will not go freaking out. So we'll see. Again, that sounds reasonable, but no official announcement has been made. Once it is officially announced, we will announce it here on the show. I am anticipating that there will be a Stranger Things trailer debuting very soon. Probably not during the Oscars, but I would assume would be very soon. Maybe during the NBA Finals, maybe during March Madness, or maybe there's some other thing I'm missing right now. Stranger Things, well, that's already past Stranger Things Day, whatever. That will reveal the trailer, which will also reveal the dates of when the show will debut this year. So hang tough. That'll be coming soon. Stephen King said this week that he will be writing some episodes of the Dark Tower TV show, which is still in very, 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 very early development. But he said he will be writing some of the episodes of the show. So that's good on that. Eddie Redmayne, Tessa Thompson, and Patsy Furin have been cast in Charlie Kaufman's new messed up dream film, Later the War. So that should be really interesting. All right, so let's go back and get some of the stories I skipped because they're interesting. Florence Pugh is said to be set to be playing Mrs. Moneypenny and a James Bond spinoff from Amazon Prime. Last week, I told you that Amazon Prime now has the rights to James Bond. Well, they've had the rights, but they now have the rights to pick, be the producers of it now that the Broccoli's have turned it over to Amazon Prime. So Amazon Prime will be the new producers of the James Bond series. So that'll give them a chance to do prequel movies, TV shows, new James Bond movies, whatever. This is something that sort of came out of left field, and I have not seen any other website say the same thing, but this kind of makes sense. Again, this one's probably one you want to take with a grain of salt, but it sounds really good. Florence Pugh as Mrs. Moneypenny is actually a really good idea, sort of like an Agent Carter sort of series about how she is in this James Bond sort of world, being a female and still succeeding as she is. And Florence Pugh is absolutely the perfect person to play that off in that role. So hopefully that is true, and that would be interesting to check out. Kathleen Kennedy is also rumored to be exiting as Star Wars's main executive at the end of the year, but she has come out and said that she's not exactly that's not exactly truthful, though she didn't come out and say that it's not truthful. So not sure how that is. I know a lot of the toxic fan base absolutely hate having a woman in charge of their beloved Star Wars, and they're fucking everything up for her. And yeah, there's been some missteps, but all in all, it's been pretty decent so far. But everybody just wants to get rid of her for whatever reason. So we'll see. It seems to be that the trends that she will be leaving, but a few days later she came out and said, "Yeah, that's really not quite exactly true." So we'll see how that ends up. This all the toxic fan base are screaming they want a man like a Filoni or a John. What's his face? The guy who directed the Iron Favreau and the Mandalorian to be in charge. So we'll see. Dark Delicacies is set to shut down its Los Angeles store. Dark Delicacies is a horror book / comic shop that when I worked at Diamond Comics at the beginning of the century was actually one of my accounts. They didn't really order that much, but they did order some, and I did talk to them a few times. But it's always sad to see when one of my accounts is shutting down. So they will be closing their doors here soon. Americans traveling to Europe decide that they wanted to attempt a Canadian accent because they're embarrassed to be Americans. Didn't quite work. This is actually a really interesting and fun story. So Fortnite has different, you can play solos, you can play doubles, trios, squads, whatever. And sometimes you play with your buds and sometimes you just join random people to play. Well, this one guy joined a couple for a trios game who are a long distance in a long distance relationship with each other. And this is really the only way that they can really communicate and have fun together, but they want to play with a third party or sometimes. So this guy joined their party. And, as you do, you all have your mics on so you can all talk to each other and play the game. This guy who joined them started noticing some sort of tension between this couple. They explained who they were and who they were. So they played the game. So he knows that they were a couple, a long distance couple, and they were having a argument about something really small. And so this guy just decided to, while we're playing, just let it out, just talk. So he became their de facto shrink when it came to their relationship. So he urged them to come out and do the talking, and he did the right thing. He stayed back, he stepped back and listened to them vent, and then he would pop in occasionally and say a thing or two here while they were still playing Fortnite. And eventually he was able to make a few astute observations and convince them about how they can fix their relationship. And he noticed soon after that they started becoming more lovey-dovey and calling each other babe and having fun as they still played Fortnite. And then they ended up winning the match. And they thanked the guy for not only their help in winning the match, but also in their relationship. And he didn't think much of it. And then a few days later, he got a direct message on Fortnite inviting him to their wedding. So I think that's kind of cool. One more talk about the morons in charge, the main idiot, con man, dumbass, shithead, rapist, racist, piece of crap, who's complaining about illegal immigrants, is suggesting that he'd be okay with illegal immigration if they had a $5 million gold card that they would give to the United States to become a citizen, basically buying his citizenship with a $5 million gold card. He said with that, we would make trillions of dollars and our budget woes would be no more. Problem is there's not enough immigrants who are willing to move to the United States that will have $5 million. So his numbers saying that there'll be trillions of dollars that are coming in through this is, as always, a fucking lie because he cannot tell the truth to save his fucking life. One of the dumbest ideas ever. Well, just one more thing about them. The total embarrassment that he put on the United States with his absolute little bitch screaming, whiny little bitch screaming match that he had with Ukraine President Zelensky, him and J.D. Vance attacking him in the Oval Office as he was there trying to talk about a way to work out issues with the United States to help them, end this war in Ukraine. Turns out that as we all expected, the felon and his vice president are under the heel and under the control of the Russians, and they were totally embarrassed the United States. And Zelensky, who had every right to pop their bitch asses or complain about them at a news conference, took the high road. And I am embarrassed to be an American, as I have been since January 20th, actually since November, when we reelected illegally, by the way, that shitbag. Anniversary Get Out debuted 8 years ago this week. Larry Dolan, the owner of the Cleveland Indians / Guardians, passed away this week. Roberto Orci, the new Star Trek series, Transformers, Hercules, Xena, Mission Impossible, producer, writer, died at the age of 51. He died the same age as I am right now. That's crazy. And Chris Jasper, a Isley Brothers singer, died at the age of 73 this week. All right, we got 25 minutes. I said I need an hour and a half. I'm going to actually beat that. I should finish this by 1 o'clock, which is great because all I have is a half page left. So that actually would give us about 3 hours out. So I'm doing the Lord's work. All right, my final batch here for today's episode. J.K. Simmons is set to join Brad Pitt for Heart of the Beast, David Ayer's new survival film that he's doing. Andor Season 2 trailer was fucking phenomenal. And I kind of wants me to go back and rewatch Andor Season 1 and catch Andor Season 2, which is set to debut April 22nd, which is 2 days after Easter. What I might end up doing is I learned this week, which is pretty good, that it looks like my son will be going camping the same week as my wife and daughter will be gone from the house also the week of leading up to January 4th or July 4th. He'll either go with his troop to a totally different campsite that he's never been before, or he'll go in as a provisional scout to Broad Creek and do his stuff there. We haven't decided yet, but it sounds like regardless where he decides to go, it will be that week of July 4th. So I will get my full week off so I can watch my TV shows and my movies and do whatever I want to for the whole week, which is going to be great. And in this case, I might end up just watching all of Andor during one of those days as well, unless I catch it sooner than that. But we'll have time, so we'll find out. So it looked awesome, though, so totally worth it. Dark Wind gets a 4th season. I think I talked about that already, but it popped up on my feed again. Oh, yeah, I can talk about that. The fascist Nazi Elon Musk should be charged with child endangerment because he brought his 4-year-old child on stage at this big event, at this big stadium, arena, or whatever, and did a little whatever it was that he did. And then as he walked off stage, he just walked really, really fast and went off stage. And then his 4-year-old comes walking down the steps, a fucking 4-year-old child. He did not carry him. He just walked away from his goddamn kid and didn't even know, like, he was solo. He forgot about his 4-year-old who is backstage at a scary arena. His dad is not anywhere in sight, doesn't know anybody. It would freak me the fuck out. And that fucking Nazi ought to get fucking killed for that bullshit and what he's doing to this fucking country. Piece of shit human being. That's my last story for the week. First look at Nicholas Galitz as He-Man. All it is just his big pumped up chest with the iconic band with the He-Man thing on it and his sword. That's all you saw. So not really a first look, but kind of a first look. 2 homeless men are on the run with a winning $523,000 lottery ticket that they bought with a stolen credit card. Okay. New season of Leverage Redemption is coming to Prime on April 17th. Now, I don't remember Leverage Redemption being on Prime. I thought it was like on one of these like Tubies or something like that. The fact that it's on Prime now means that maybe the previous seasons will be on there, so I might be able to catch up on that because I haven't watched that yet. And Leverage is one of my favorite shows. Rashida Jones wants to do a Parks and Rec reboot. I wouldn't, because the ending was perfect. Unless you're doing like an Office reboot with a whole new cast of characters and she comes in as one of the regulars, maybe with Rob Lowe or as a completely different character. I don't know. But no, I think leave Parks and Rec alone had the perfect ending. I don't think you need a reboot or a return or whatever the fuck you're talking about. The Wayans family, Damon, Keenan Ivory, and all of them, Kim Wayans, all that, are going to be inducted into the NCAA. Nothing to do the NAACP, National African American Society, whatever it is, Hall of Fame. So good on that. We get our first look at Andrew Lincoln and his new BritBox series, Cold Water, about a man who moves his father to a Scottish town called Coldwater, where he befriends a guy, and turns out that this guy is involved in a lot of crazy shit, and Andrew Lincoln gets involved in it. So he looks good, doesn't have this awful beard. He's clean shaven, short haired. Looks like the Andrew Lincoln you remember from Love Actually. Michelle Williams and Daisy Edgar Jones are set to star in A Place in Hell movie. Melissa Fumero from Brooklyn Nine-Nine is returning to her role as not returning to her role. She'll be playing a police detective in not one but two TV shows, not playing the character she did in Nine-Nine, but she is going to be in the second season of Based on a True Story, and she also has a recurring role on Grosse Pointe Garden Society. At both of them as a detective, like she did that she played in Nine-Nine. I already talked about that. March 19th, Netflix, which does documentaries very well, is going to release a new documentary called The Twister about the destructive Jasper twister that went through years ago that almost totally destroyed the entire town. So that should be kind of interesting to see how they end up doing that. The Independent Spirit Awards is our last awards show before we talk about the Oscars next week. Independent Spirit Awards. The Independent Spirit Awards winner was Anora for Best Feature, Dee Dee for Best First Feature, Sean Baker for Anora for Best Director, Richard Gadd and Baby Reindeer's lead performance in a TV show, I'm assuming. Maisie Stella's Best Breakthrough Performance in My Old Ass, which is another one I need to see during that week I have off. John Cassavetes' award goes to Girls Will Be Girls. Best First Screenplay was from Sean Wang for Dee Dee. Best Documentary was No Other Land. Robert Altman Award goes to His Three Daughters, Elizabeth Olsen, Natasha Lyonne, and one other actress. Best Cinematography was Nickel Boys. Best Screenplay, A Real Pain. Best Lead Performance, Mikey Madsen for Anora. Best International Film was Flow. Someone to Watch Awards, Sarah Freeland for Familiar Touch. Best Supporting Performance by an Actor, Kieran Culkin. Best Producers Awards, Sarah Winshaw for I Saw the TV Globe. Best Editing, September 5th. Truer Than Fiction Award, Rachel Elizabeth Seed for A Photographic Memory. Supporting Performance in a TV show or miniseries, Nava Mao for Baby Reindeer. Best New Scripted Series, Shogun, of course. Breakthrough Performance, Jessica Gunning and Baby Reindeer. Best Ensemble Cast, How to Die Alone. And Best New Non-Scripted Show, Hollywood Black. So that's your Independent Spirit Awards. So it's really good to see some of these independents on stuff. The fact that Flow won Best International Film is a pretty good sign that it could probably win Best Animated Feature. It won't win Best International Film this year. Excuse me, but that's it. All right. So did that. Before I get to my last story, anniversaries, the U.S. hockey team beat the Russians in the Olympics 45 years ago this week. And now it's the Russians who are beating the Americans on their ass thanks to our fucking traitorous presidential office right now. Death, Al Troutway, a U.S. sports broadcaster, passed away this week as well. So the final story this week. out of North Las Vegas. So not Florida, which is weird, but out of North Las Vegas, we have a speeding woman on cocaine runs into and kills a drunk driver high on meth. Now, I don't know if the cocaine lady got killed, but the fact that a speeding woman high on cocaine killed a drunk driver high on meth, is it irony of some kind? I'm not sure, but they did it in North Las Vegas. So craziness. All right, I finished at 1 o'clock. Perfect, an hour and a half. Even though only an hour and 15 showed up here. But here we go. I'm going to end my stream. Watch the Oscars tonight. Check out my Oscar picks. It should be posted now. See how I do next week. We'll talk about the winners of the Oscars and whatever else happens. So see you all later. Bye.